Hello.
Hi, Kayla.
Hi. Quick question. Can I record this call?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. This for a school project?
Yes, it is.
Okay. You're in high school?
Yeah.
Cool. What grade?
I'm in 10th grade, and this is for my POE engineering class. So,
That's cool.
yeah.
My school didn't have any engineering classes.
Oh.
Pretty neat. A lot of high schools are doing that now.
Yeah. It's a big interest of mine too, so.
What school?
Martin Luther King High School.
Okay. Where's that at?
It's in Riverside.
All right.
Yeah.
I went to Elsinore High School.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, so you got some questions for me?
Yes, I do. Okay, so first question. Please describe your engineering field.
Well, I'm a mechanical engineer. I specialize in gauge and fixture design, which is used in the production of weapon systems for the military. So essentially you have a whole bunch of different companies making all these different pieces for a weapon system, and you want to make sure that, you know, when they're all shipped to the Navy, that they're going to all assemble properly, and then later on, if the Navy wants to disassemble them and, you know, swap components out, that the components are going to fit. That's called interchangeability. You
Okay.
know, that's what Henry Ford was kind of famous for, is that when he produced his cars, they were interchangeable. Before that, everything was kind of custom made. You know, if you broke a part on your car, you had to have something custom made. You couldn't just go buy a part off the shelf and swap it out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the gist of what we do. I work at the Naval Surface Warfare Center in Corona. I'm sure you're aware of that since Jocelyn works there too.
Yeah.
But
What?
I got a minor in energy engineering, and I went back and got my master's in mechanical engineering from Cal Poly Pomona. I'm also a licensed professional engineer in the state of California.
That's cool. Okay. Second question. What is your current job title? I know you kind of already said this, but.
I'm just listed as a mechanical engineer. That's my job
Okay.
title. The kind of, I guess, more specific would be the program manager for rolling airframe missile gates.
Okay.
So anything that has to do with the rolling airframe missile, I manage. I also manage some of the other programs there, like the vertical launch system and vertical launch ASROC.
Were you always interested to be a mechanical engineer?
No, it's kind of funny. In college, I realized a lot of people going there had, you know, a brother or a father or an uncle or somebody that was an engineer. For me, I didn't know anybody who was an engineer, so it was never even an idea. I always liked taking things apart, tinkering, and, you know, just figuring out how things worked. That was always interesting to me. But the field of engineering was never something that really crossed my mind. And I was watching a lot of those Modern Marvels shows and how it's made, and I thought, man, that's pretty cool. I wonder who designs all this stuff. And I started looking it up. And at the time, I was going to CSU San Marcos, and I thought I was going to be a physics major.
Oh.
And one of the instructors there, he was an electrical engineer. I mentioned it, so I started looking into engineering. So I was probably about 22, 23 when I kind of decided on mechanical engineering.
Okay. What is your average work schedule?
What do you mean, like hours and whatnot?
Yeah.
I work 9-hour days, so I can get in anytime between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., which is nice, but I'm usually there about 7 o'clock. I drive my daughter to the babysitter in the morning, so it takes a couple hours to get to work.
Oh.
But so I usually work 7 to 4:30, and then every other Friday you get off since you're working 9-hour days.
Okay.
Kind of nice.
Yeah.
Today should have been my Friday off, but I was actually working overtime.
Okay. Starting with high school, please describe your educational background chronologically.
Well, so out of high school, I was working full time for most of the time going through school. I went to CSU San Marcos part time for 3 years, I think. And I transferred to Mount San Jacinto, did a semester there, and then I transferred into Cal Poly Pomona, and I did 4 years at Cal Poly Pomona to get my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. And then I went straight from my bachelor's into my master's, also at Cal Poly Pomona. And that, since I was doing that part-time, that took 4 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah, I know. I should have been a doctor. But it made a lot more money. Figure I got 11 years of school. But yeah, it's an interesting field. You know, I enjoy it.
Okay. Next question. If you had to do it over related to your career or education, would you do anything differently?
I don't think so. If I was going to do anything differently, I might have tried working different jobs before I started with the Navy to get a better understanding of how, you know, private industry works.
Yes.
But otherwise, the Navy job is a good job.
Okay. What advice would you give to me as someone interested in pursuing a career path similar to yours?
Well, engineering is one of those things where you have to really like it. You know, I ran into a lot of people in school that were doing it because they thought, you know, they were going to get rich, or they thought engineers make a lot of money, and they don't. You know, you make a comfortable living, but you're not going to get rich. And for the amount of schooling you do, it's and the difficulty of the schooling, you know, I think it's kind of underpaid depending on what you're doing. So you got to make sure you like it. A lot of people actually get their engineering degree and then they change careers at some point. You know, a lot of people, I don't know why, but it's common for engineers to become lawyers. And I think it goes back to the money thing. But people get an engineering degree and then later on go to law school.
That's interesting.
Get a law degree. Yeah.
Because
it's actually not a bad thing if you get into patent law, because, you know, you have an engineering mindset, so you understand the technical aspects of patent law. So you can actually do really well if you go that path.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Law wouldn't be my cup of tea.
Oh.
But, you know, study hard. Pay attention in school. All that stuff is important. You know, a lot of people I saw just kind of skated through college. You know, they tried to get their C- and move on.
Oh.
And you know, everybody always says, well, your GPA is not on your diploma. That's true. You know, if you got the same diploma as somebody who got straight A's all through school.
Yeah.
But when it comes time to actually put some of that to use, that's when it really makes a difference. You know, when you start designing things or using that experience, then you want to make sure that you actually knew it.
Yeah. I don't know if I asked you, but can you please state your full name?
My
Like
name
your first and last.
Yeah, my name is Nick Goldberg. That's GOLDBERG.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
That concludes this interview.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for doing this for me.
Yeah, no problem. If you ever have any other questions, you let me know. You
Okay.
thinking of getting into engineering as well?
Yeah, I'm interested in aerospace engineering.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
too. That was actually the field I was leaning towards when I started at Cal Poly. And then I did a bunch of research on it, and I found out that, aerospace engineering is basically just mechanical engineering.
Yeah,
Or,
that's what I've noticed a lot. So I'm like
yeah,
interested in mechanical and aerospace.
yeah, it's very similar. It's just, more directed towards aircraft and spacecraft.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of mechanical engineers work in the aerospace industry. So if you want to work in aerospace, you can definitely do it with a mechanical engineering degree. You don't need to have an aerospace engineering degree. But if you want to work as a mechanical engineer, it's going to be more difficult to do that with an aerospace engineering degree. So the mechanical engineering degree is nice because it's super versatile. You can work in a lot of different fields with it. Whereas if
Yeah.
you get aerospace engineering, you're going to kind of be locked into aerospace, which really limits where you can live and where you can work. So I went with mechanical, and I think that was a good choice.
That's
So
really interesting.
just look into it. Like I
Okay.
said, you can do both with mechanical, whereas with aerospace, you're kind of stuck just doing aerospace.
Yeah.
But you can't go wrong with an engineering degree. There's always a demand for engineers.
Yeah, that's true.
Biomedical engineering is getting very big too now. I did some courses in my master's program with biomedical engineering, and I thought it was really interesting stuff. You're basically taking all the principles of mechanical engineering, like all of your fluid mechanics. It's kind of like a pumping problem when you think about the circulatory system.
Yeah.
The harder the pump, and you've got pipes, and it's really neat. So I actually was interested in that quite a bit. But that field's, booming in growth. You've got a lot of different medical implants and devices and things that are designed by mechanical engineers, but the mechanical engineers don't really understand the human body and how it works like a doctor would. So the biomedical engineering gives you some of that background. So that's kind of a neat field, something to look into.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if I asked this. What is your specific degree?
it's mechanical engineering.
It was on here and I wasn't sure, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have my bachelor's and my master's in mechanical engineering,
Okay.
both from Cal Poly Pomona, which is a great school if you're looking.
Not yet.
Yeah, you're still early on, but time will come. You got
Yeah.
UCR there too, which is a good school. Well, any other questions for me?
No. That's it.
Okay. Well, feel free to call anytime
Okay.
if you need advice or whatever.
Okay.
I'm happy to help. We need more engineers, definitely more female engineers.
Okay. Thank you again for doing this.
No problem.
And okay. Bye.
All right, take care.